The next one is the man of God teaches his people to be independent. Independent. When the Bible said, you know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, it is a very big thing, which means also that if you know the truth about God, one day you become independent of the person that is teaching you. It's like you go to a university, one day you graduate from that university and you go and get a job. If the job is to become a teacher, you become a teacher. If the job is to become an engineer, you become an engineer. Spiritually, it is the same thing. The man of God has to teach people to become independent of him in due time. Because it is when people become adults, that is when when they are eating solid food. An adult doesn't live with his mother and father anymore. When you are an adult, you move out of the house, you go and start your own family. So a spiritual adult is somebody that has been trained, and after the training, the person cannot go out and start training others. That means that you are a spiritual adult. That is what the Bible said. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the man of God to train people to become independent so that they don't need him anymore to dictate to them what they have to do. Now, these adults can then go out and start training other people to become adults again. The idea was never to keep people in a state of infancy, okay, or so that you have toddlers. Today in the churches, what is happening is that everybody has become a toddler. If you go to a church, you become a toddler and you stay a toddler for the rest of your life as long as you are going to that church. If you want to do anything, you must go and ask the pastor. If you're a woman, you want to get married, you must bring the boyfriend to the pastor to get asked. The pastor has to cast out the demons so that the demon in that boy's head can clear. You have to go and get a vision to see what is the life, how your life is going to be with that new partner. That does not create a better future for the person. What that does is has actually paralyzed the person. So the pastors today, instead of doing what the Bible said and helping people to be mature adult Christians spiritually, what they are doing is that they are paralyzing the people. So, like I just read to you, now you need to make the choice yourself. If you are taught to have a vision and you are taught to be great, there are a lot of ways to do that, and you are directed to be a responsible person in the society, to grow, to become adult spiritually, to be independent of the pastor, not independent of Jesus, not independent of God, but independent of your teacher, because you have been taught enough, and to be able to, just tell me, how powerful would you be as a human being? How powerful should you be as a human being? Very powerful, because you have been taught well. Everybody in society has been taught well. On this subject, finally, what the pastor is supposed to be doing, or the man of God, is to enlighten people so that the people can study the words of God and understand it themselves. They study the words of God and understand it themselves. You see, what the pastors are doing today is to ensure that you don't study the Bible and the people don't study the Bible. Number two, that they tell the people that if you study the Bible, you don't understand it. You won't understand it because you don't have the spirit in you to understand the words of God. So it is only them that can study the Bible and understand it. So therefore, if you want to know the interpretation of what the Bible is saying, You must come to them. It is always about them, never about you. And that is not what Jesus Christ said should be done. That is not the recommendation of what Jesus Christ said Christianity should be. This is purely, not Christian. It is not a Christian behavior, talk less of, a behavior of a man of God. So therefore, you need to be able to ascertain and determine if the people you are talking to are really the man of God or they are not. But I think that anybody that listens to me and reads the Bible knows that these people are not the men of God, and there is no way, they can argue about that and say they are the man of God. So now, since we have known that these people are not the man of God, so the question is, how do we, how do we come out of this now? How do we come out of this? Because it's all what this conversation is about. Now, the thing is this. First of all, you need to recognize the fact, and everybody watching this video to recognize the fact that between God and man, you have only one intermediary, and that is Jesus. Okay? So Jesus is Lord, So Jesus, nobody can prevent you from going to Jesus directly. But the pastors want to be in between. The pastor wants to be between you and God, and the problem is that doesn't go well for the citizens, because you should be able to have a direct access to God and not a pastor in between. The teachings of the pastor that you have to go through God, to God through them, basically means that if you pray, your prayer is not going to be answered by God. And I don't understand what part of the scriptures that they used to, how do you say it, buttress their argument that is how it is. I don't understand the part of the scriptures where that's what, why. Because if you look at every part of the scriptures, the Bible always made it clear that you can have access to God through prayer. It's not through a pastor. Everything that you need to know as a Christian, everything you need to do as a Christian is already written in the Bible. You don't need a pastor to come and guide you on your day-to-day activity. What I mean by that is simple. There is a difference between helping you to understand the scripture, and anybody that knows the scripture more than you do, whether he has the title of Jesus or not, can help you to understand some part of the scriptures. That is not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about here is that you have to be treated like a toddler on a daily basis. Take your hand, say, go and do this one. You must do this one. You must do that one. You must do that one. And that is one of the biggest problems in the churches today, because they are not training people to be responsible adults that can take decisions for themselves. And that is creating paralysis. This paralysis is what is destroying the black race. Okay? This paralysis is what is destroying the black race. That is where we have a problem. Because we are